are so excited about this next segment because the Bears have been expanding their girls flag football program, really pouring a lot into young women here in the Chicagoland area. And we have one with us and her coach today, as well as our friend from the Bears organization.
Yes, it's so good to have all three of you here. Let's start out with you, Gustavo Silva. This is a big initiative for the Bears. Why did the Bears even want to get into this space with girls flag football?
So, you know, it's one of our core missions to grow the game of football, and we want to do that by making the game accessible and inclusive. And, you know, what better place to start than with girls and women? So this is an initiative that we started in 2021 with Chicago Public Schools. And, in these years that have passed since 2021, we have 200 schools that are playing this year, and the game is now an officially sanctioned sport by the IHSA as of last year. So we've really made tremendous growth both here in our local market, internationally, and the game has grown globally. So it really was just the right place at the right time, and we're glad that we got in when we did, because girls like me are showing us that it's very much needed and it's very much wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. Gustavo, you are the director of football development, and for sure we know that when coaches step into these scenes right here, maybe you're getting your team over there with Caleb or maybe some of the other players, really there's development that happens on the field for these girls, but then also off. Can you talk a little bit about that, Coach Brooks?
Yeah, I'm an athlete, a former athlete myself, so being able to help young girls learn a new sport and be able to grow on and off the field, helping them grow into amazing young women, and it's been great, and seeing them learn and seeing them grow and seeing the sport continue to grow throughout the state of Illinois.
Well, we got to talk to Mia, and I know Mia's a little nervous, but Mia is one of the star athletes, and you told us you play 2 positions.
Yes.
What positions do you play?
Safety and receiver.
Okay, so that's obviously got to be pretty quick to be able to do those positions, but let's talk about what this has done for you, not just on the field, but actually being a student as well.
It created many relationships, other sports that opened up doors, like camps, like the Bears camp, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I love it. It's okay, you ain't got to say a lot, but you said enough.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing here Kevin Warren, kind of speak to the group. Gustavo, you all are pouring in a lot into this particular program and these young women, as I mentioned. So talk about some of the programming that you all have had over the summer, especially when these young ladies were out of school. I know we talked about there was a moment for Women and Girls Sports Day when so many of the young women came over and they were able to meet the football players, but also some other women who are in sports as well.
Of course. So, I mean, that's the thing about sports, right? We know that it's a great pathway to success in life.
Yeah.
And, with football, I feel like, women have not had those opportunities historically. So we really wanted to be at the forefront of making those opportunities, because there are a lot of women that work in sports. And there are so many women that are successful in sports and are critical to our organizations. So being exposed to those women, both, that work for the Bears and work alongside the Bears on these different initiatives, it's really important for the girls to see those role models. And you talked about, Mr. Kevin Warren, George McCaskey, our chairman. They're huge supporters of girls flag football. George McCaskey is an IHSA girls flag football official. That's how committed he is to this. Kevin Warren and his wife, Greta Warren, presented the 5 teams that attended training camp with donation of cleats so that they have the equipment that they need to be successful. So we're really committed to building pathways for girls to not only play at the high school level, collegiately, internationally, at the Olympics, and beyond, to really use the sport as a vehicle for success in life.
That's what I was going to ask you next, because we have seen, especially in the NFL, NBA as well, where there's been an influx of women with big positions, like you being a coach, right? Let's talk about, where this really could potentially take Mia for her future. Is it possible that she could be playing flag football at a college, on a collegiate level?
Yes, so collegiate flag football does exist. There's actually 2 schools in Illinois right now that play this year collegiately. There's going to be 8 next year, and about 100 throughout the United States. So there are opportunities. Girls from Illinois are getting scholarships and are playing. We had about 27 girls that came to training camp this year as well that are also going to be playing collegiately. So those opportunities are there already. It is going to be an Olympic sport in 2028, but like you said, there's opportunities beyond that. Kevin always says that, one day one of these young ladies could have his job as president and CEO of the Chicago Bears.
Is that something that you're looking at?
Yes.
Mia, okay, you step up at Halas Hall who did you want to see, and what do you remember in terms of like what stuck out to you?
I wanted to see Caleb Williams because he's the quarterback and everything, and then I was most excited to see like the history and the achievements in Halas Hall. Yeah.
Had you always been interested in football? Was that like the sport that you were like into? Because some people they like basketball too. Was football always your sport?
No, I used to play with my brother in the backyard, but then when it came to our school, I was like excited, and yeah, that's when I really took it serious.
Yeah. Coach Brooks, listening to me, obviously we want more young women to be able to have these testimonies. What do you see for the future of the game? And if somebody is maybe watching right now and their daughter is like, okay, well, a lot of parents, they try this, try that, try this, try that, but you're like, football? For my little girl, what do you say to them?
The young women can do anything. It's a lovely sport. It's fun. A lot of the girls learn very quickly, especially because some of them may have watched football a little bit here or there, so they kind of already know a little bit of the rules, but just getting those skills down and being able to show them that it's a new sport that you have another opportunity in. There's plenty of sports that they can play in high school, and being able to give them another door that they can be able to have a good future in, whether it's them playing college or even playing in the Olympics. It's a growing sport all over the world, and it's good to see that they are able to have another opportunity.
Yeah. When you start talking scholarships, parents are like, well, wait a minute, maybe she should.
Anyone listening right now, maybe they haven't considered this for their kid, but maybe they can see the potential there. Where should they start?
So I think it depends on the age of the child, right? I think if they're in high school, they're likely that the school may already have a program, and if not, they're going to have a program. So I would say if your school doesn't have a program, then sit down with some of your peers and maybe talk to the athletic director, talk to the principal about bringing a program to your school, because that's a lot of the work that we did, a lot of the outreach work that we did back in 2021, 22, 23 to get us to this point. If your child is younger, right, if you have a little girl who's maybe in youth or middle school, we're also growing the game at that level, because this needs to continue to feed itself. So right now the high school teams are feeding the collegiate programs that are coming out of necessity, and the same thing is happening with the youth programming. We're seeing it grow at the youth level, at the middle school level. So I would say be an advocate, be a champion for the sport, and if you don't have one within your community, help be the person that brings it there. Reach out to us, and we're here to help
you all
do
are
that.
certainly meeting demand. We've seen and talked about things that have already happened. Can you key us in on maybe some things that you all have coming up?
Well, right now, a couple of things, right? We are championing these efforts at the collegiate levels, and we started doing that a couple years ago when we saw the growth. We sat down with colleges and universities and said, hey, we have thousands of girls that are playing this sport that could potentially come to your school if you offer this program. So that's one thing that we're working on, is advocating at that level. We're also growing it at the middle school level. We believe in the scholastic model. All kids go to school. So all kids should have the opportunity at school to play sports. So we're really trying to build that at the middle school and youth level. We have leagues internationally, the Bears do, in Spain and in the UK, that we are growing the game in our international markets as well, because we're not talking about just an Illinois game or a national game. This is a global game that's going to be competed at the Olympics, right? And there's potential there, right, in the future for professional leagues, and more importantly, just opportunities in the professional sports ecosystem for women, and that's really what this is about.
Absolutely.
Mia, is that something that you're looking at, taking this to the collegiate level and then beyond?
Yes.
Yes, that's all you need to know. Yes, absolutely. Is there anything more that you all would want to say about the opportunities you're giving young women, or just the changing face of football?
Go ahead, Mia. Take a job at it.
I'm glad that it's a growing sport, and I hope it gets real bigger, and so it can have more opportunities for everybody.
Well,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and I would definitely say don't be scared to try it. When Mia first came, she was trying it, and she became a superstar on the field. We have a lot of other girls who tried it for the first time and learned very quickly, and it's a big sport that you have a great opportunity in. So just try it. Even if you don't like it at first, it may seem fun later down the line.
Yeah, trying it is a big part of it.
I would say, that there's a place to get involved, right? So we need, obviously, there's a lot of girls that want to play the game. They need coaches like Coach Brooks. We need officials. We need people that are going to support that. So I think wherever you are and you believe that sports are important for girls, then I think that you should get involved in whatever way you can. Again, a coach, an official, an advocate, a champion, a supporter. But there's something that we can all do to help grow the game, and I think that that's, you know, probably the best thing that we could do is just be champions and advocates for these young ladies.
That's a good point, because when I think about, you know, I went to a college that was really big in sports, and I always saw men, obviously, you know, being the coaches and whatnot. And so I don't think there's a lot of women that even think about that as an opportunity, maybe more so now. So for you, Coach Brooks, was it a difference, you know, from maybe the sports you've coached before to transitioning into flag football? Was this a difference for you?
A little bit. I have coached basketball before, and I played basketball before, but in my adult years, I've been recently playing adult flag football, like recreationally. Our athletic director is actually one of my teammates, and she was kind of the one that was pushing for, you know, we want more girls sports, but we also want more women in sports. So she got me on board about coaching, and I was very excited. And it's good to see, like, there are plenty more women that are coaching, especially in Illinois high schools. And it's good to see that, you know, they have someone that they can look up to, and someone that they can learn the game from and understand from, and not feel like it's too challenging. They have something to look forward to.
Absolutely. We so appreciate you all being here. Thank you for what you are bringing. Thank you for what you are doing. Mia, you get it, girl.